Good day, folks. Today I'd like to tell you guys about my Samsung story. I got this camera about 5 years ago, I think it was, 4 or 5 years ago, with the hopes of doing video and photography stuff. I started off mostly on video, but now this is mostly gravitating towards a photography camera. It served its purpose. It's decent. Samsung jumped into the camera market and bid for what at the time was a very decent product at a decent price. So fast forward to today, 2017. Samsung has discontinued their NX camera line. So the money I paid for 3 lenses is, what's the word? Somewhat wasted, because there are going to be no more NX camera bodies. So this camera body with the 3 lenses I have, that's it. No more further software or firmware updates, no more high-end support for these products. So Samsung left me out to dry. Now this thing still works. It still works pretty well for photos, not so much for video, but right now I'm mostly using it for photos, so it's okay. But because Samsung just jumped in and produced a bunch of stuff and, start shooting out all these high-end specs, people like me who bought these cameras, we are now stuck with these proprietary lenses. These lenses, they only work with Samsung, and I can't adapt other camera lenses to this body, or I risk losing autofocus in just about every single situation I've heard of. Even the hot shoe has a custom configuration of pins that's quite proprietary, and accessory support is quite limited. And because these things are so proprietary, as is just about everything Samsung makes, I can't really find any real resale value in this. I mean, I would love to move to full frame someday, but in order to finance such a move, I need to sell this. I need to sell these lenses. But who in the world is going to buy it knowing that there's not going to be any future bodies or lenses for this Samsung NX system? I'm kind of left out to dry. Samsung kind of screwed me over. They hopped in promising all this stuff. I bought into it. And now I'm kind of screwed. I mean, I can still make this work for the short term. But for people like me who feel like they've been burned by Samsung, oh jeez, no pun intended, who feel like they've been burnt by Samsung, I think we're pretty much screwed. There is a community out there who are actually trying to hack the firmware on these things to try to improve the capability, especially when it comes to the video. But I haven't seen much progress in that. Now, Samsung does still have a few overstocked items around, such as the NX1, which is their full-frame camera, but that thing is already obsolete. It's already a few years old. Yeah, it's still a very nice camera, but why would I want to buy it, knowing that something much better is just around the corner? Right now, I think Sony is running away with the mirrorless segment, because their A7 series, A7R2, A7S2, and their A6000 series, the 6000, 6300, and 6500, they are going to crush just about everybody else when it comes to these mirrorless cameras. I'm not completely disappointed. I spent my money on this. It has taken a few decent shots, but it's slow. It has this ridiculously weird touchscreen for my generation, and it's not optimal for fast shooting photographers. Now, looking back, I remember I did an unboxing video on this. Man, that was quite a while ago. if I were to make a decision when it comes to cameras now, or let's say if I were to go back, I probably would have gotten a Sony. Yeah, I know Sony, they were just starting out with the better mirrorless cameras back then, and they were not as good as Samsung, but now Sony has leapfrogged everybody in the mirrorless market. I could have bought a Sony mirrorless back then and still had decent lenses to upgrade to a newer Sony mirrorless now if I had gone that route. But no, Samsung, them, and they're stuffing everything with the specs and all the check marks on the spec sheets and so on. They got to me, and now I'm screwed. So Samsung, you kind of like put me in this really shitty situation, and I am reconsidering buying shit from you because of this. You guys tried to hop in too many markets at once, and I got burned. I didn't buy one of your phones though, by the way, so I didn't get burned that way. But I got burned as in buying something that is no longer supported, that is not going to get any upgrades, that's not going to get any further accessories. So, yeah, fuck you guys.